All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig in a Pickle Crew Show with a little 49ers recap on a Friday on everything that happened down here in Santa Clara. Okay, we're brought to you by Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig in a Pickle. Go get some brisket chili. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. And this video also brought to you by Sharp Corners Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue along the Monterey Peninsula in Pacific Grove, California. Give my friend Anthony Catania a call. He's at 831-521-5264. All right, let's go through some of the stuff that happened down here in Niner Land. First, Robert Saleh called Fred Warner a first ballot Hall of Famer. He says Warner saved 2 touchdowns on Monday night against the Jets, according to Saleh. And that's cool to hear from Saleh. Saleh, of course, coached Fred when Fred was a Niner. Saleh also said the key to the Niner offense is not Shanahan, it's not the weapons, it's the line. Which is really interesting because a lot of people think that the line is the weakness on the Niners offense, and yet Saleh said that it's the Niners offensive line that makes the whole thing go. John Lynch went on KMBR this morning and said that Talanoa Hufanga is getting really close, but he's not quite ready. He doesn't know when he'll be exactly returning. They're going to be very conservative with Hufanga. He also said that CMC's Achilles, CMC is out for this game. He's not going to play on Sunday. He did practice on Thursday. He's got Achilles tendonitis. They're taking the long-range view. IR is still a possibility. Shanahan confirmed that today as well. Christian experienced some pain in the Achilles calf area yesterday during practice, so there's no timetable yet on when he'll return. They're going to play it very conservative because of how much he means to the team. The Niners have a streak on the line on Sunday. They've lost 7 straight trips to Minnesota. The last win they've had there came in 1992. Now, the Vikings do play a ton of zone defense. They played 83.7% of 2 high safeties last week in Week 1 against the Giants. Minnesota ranked 3rd in the NFL in zone coverage rate. And Brock Purdy has been the NFL's most efficient quarterback against zone coverages throughout his career. So will they mix it up and play more man, or will they let Brock carve him up in the zone? It'll be interesting to watch. Tom Brady voiced his opinion today on who he thinks are the top 5 teams in football, saying KC 1, Niners 2, Lions 3, Dallas 4, Houston 5. Baltimore did not make the top 5. Dominic Pooney, according to Pro Football Focus, got a 79.1 grade for his week 1 performance against the Jets. That was the highest graded offensive rookie across the league in Week 1. So great news there about Dominic Pooney. No defense played more 2 high safety coverage in Week 1 than the Vikings did. As I said, 83.7%. So what does that mean for the Niners? Expect Debo to go off. Debo may go off Sunday. Since last season, Debo leads the Niners in target share against 2 high safeties at 26.3%. Ayuk's at 18.9%. Kittle's at 15.4%. Just something for you individual daily fantasy players to keep in mind. Debo also is a brand new weekly Bleacher Report show. We'll, I'm sure, check that out in the weeks ahead. Brad Allen is officiating this game for the NFL, and his crew, home underdogs, are 30-18-1 against the spread. Home underdogs win and cover 61% of the time with Allen's crew officiating. His crew also calls an NFL low 39.5% of third down penalties on home teams dating back to 2021. And his crew also called the highest percentage of pre-snap penalties dating back to 2021. So something to keep note of. There's a lot of talk out of Miami that the Dolphins and their fans would like to see the Dolphins trade for Joshua Dobbs. Nothing concrete on that with the injury to Tua Tagovailoa. Last year, of course, the Vikings beat the Niners in Minnesota. Kirk Cousins was awesome, and the Niners blitzed him on 26% of his dropbacks, and he carved them up. He completed 77.8% of his passes. He had a 107.8 passer rating, and he threw for 378 yards. Now, the Niners blitzed Rodgers in Week 1 only 9.1% of the time, but they pressured him on 27% of the snaps, so that's a good sign. J.T. O'Sullivan, the former Niner quarterback, has his show, The Quarterback School, And in it this week, he says that no one goes through his progressions and reads faster than Brock Purdy. I asked Shanahan about it, and he kind of concurred. He said, it's very common for Brock to get to his fourth or fifth option on a play, and that's not common across the league. The Vikings offensive line, by the way, is 24th in the NFL after 1 week in pass block win rate after the Giant game. Darnold was pressured on 42% of his dropbacks. He held the ball at the 8th highest rate. So that kind of tells you he's not processing really fast. Leonard Floyd and Nick Bosa, by the way, combined for an 18% pressure rate of their own in week 1 against the Jets. So look for them to have a big day. Darnold was excellent against the blitz in week 1. He went 5 of 6 when the Giants blitzed him, and he threw 2 touchdowns and converted 3 first downs against the blitz. So Minnesota's not going to have Jordan Addison. He is out with the ankle injury. He lit the Niners up last year for 2 touchdowns and 7 catches and 123 yards. And T.J. Hawkinson is out as well. There'll be no T.J. Hawkinson. There'll be no Jordan Addison. Can the Niners stop Aaron Jones? That's the big question in this one. And Ty Chandler in the Minnesota run game. No team allowed fewer yards before contact per attempt in week 1 than the Niners did against Breece Hall and the Jets. Expect Minnesota to put Justin Jefferson in the slot and potentially get him ISO'd against Devondre Campbell. Minnesota center Garrett Bradbury and their right guard Ed Ingram allowed 10 pressures in week 1 against the Giants. So look for Hargrave and Collins to go off. Minnesota brings injuries into this game as well. Brian O'Neill, the right tackle, Ed Ingram, the guard, and Harrison Smith, the safety, all practiced on Friday, but all are still listed as questionable. Now, we talked to Kyle Shanahan today. He says Hufanga's doubtful, Winters is questionable, CMC is out, and may indeed have to go on IR. Yatir Gross-Matos, who's had a hell of a camp, according to Kyle, is going to return in this game, and the Niners will get a look at their forward-man defensive end rotation. Patrick Taylor and Isaac Guerendo are probably going to get a little run going forward. Guerendo, according to Shanahan, looks good and looks comfortable, and he's comfortable growing Guerendo's role. He also said of Taylor, he had a good OTA, he had a good camp, and he had a great final preseason game. So expect to see not just J.P. Mason, but Patrick Taylor and Isaac Guerendo. Couple other things. Minnesota Stadium's really loud. You may see the Niners go to a silent count. Ricky Pearsall has started working out consistently. Just looking at Pearsall, you would never know that he had a bullet travel through him. He doesn't have a single mark on him. And according to Shanahan, the shoulder was unaffected by the bullet, also unaffected by the struggle with his assailant. So the shoulder situation is unchanged for Ricky. And then I asked Kyle about how Minnesota's defense is kind of a unique defense, and he says it's the most unique defense in the league. He says no one plays zero coverage more than they do. He says no one blitzes more than they do. They blitz at over 80% of the snaps. He said even though it's a heavy blitz defense, it's kind of a bend but don't break defense. And he says they don't give up explosives. He said they led the league last year in giving up the fewest number of explosives. So just a little thumbnail there from Kyle on Minnesota's defense. All right, that does it for our video. Thanks to Pig in a Pickle for being the title sponsor of The Krug Show. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.